Okay, so the next concept is JSX. Okay, what is JSX? A very, very important question, and why we have to use a JSX. Okay, so let us go for the our header component. Okay, so inside the header component, suppose we will see this code. Okay, so this is a JavaScript code. This is not a HTML code. Correct, right? So if you are writing same code in the normal JS file, you are going to get an error. Okay, if you are writing the same line of code in the normal .js file, and if you are opening your HTML file, you are going to get an error because browser will not understand. Hey, you are a developer, you are writing your HTML code inside the JavaScript. How I should display it? It doesn't know. Okay, that is the reason you are going to get an error. Then how this output is coming in my browser? Like whenever I'm writing header, so we are getting a header as output right here, header as a output. Okay, so like whatever the code I am writing, this return statement, right? This code we are calling as JSX. Okay, so okay, so let us this code we will write like a JSX syntax. And here we are writing div one, this HTML element, right? There is a central person. What they will do, they will convert all this HTML code and into the real JavaScript code. What they will do, they will write like a document dot get element by ID, and they will use this entire thing, and they will add like a document dot appendChild. We have, you know that, right? Automatically they will add to the bottom. So that logic they will do by the who will do the this all work, JSX. Okay, so now we are writing this code and it has to convert into again JavaScript, right? So that work will do by the webpacks. Okay, so there is a concept called webpacks. So this all JavaScript code again will be converting, this HTML code will be converting into normal code. Okay, this will convert by the webpacks. Okay, and there is a Babel. Okay, there is a Babel library who will convert all this React JSX code into real JavaScript code. Okay, we are going to write some code here and let us understand. So the what is this JSX? JSX is shorthand for the JavaScript XML. Okay, so this makes HTML file read easy. Let's go for one by one. And component is just the JSX. Suppose here we are writing a something, some simple return statement is there. Here we are using some simple HTML only, not at any complex logic. Okay, so inside here we can use a JSX. And so without like if you don't do like this, then we have to write like a document dot get element by ID, document dot create element, document data append chain. All this work will done by the this Babel or Webpack, whoever it is there, that will that guys will convert it. Okay, so how, what is the code I want to write it here? Suppose if this code is not there, if Babel is not there, what is the code I have to write it like? Internally, this code will be converting like this: React dot create element. So what is the element I want to do it? Suppose div. So here they will write like a div element, and they will give one empty object. And what is the value they want to print it? That value they will print it here. So internally, our code will be converting like this. Okay, this work will do by what library? Babel library. Okay, so we no need to think too much about it. Internally, React, whenever we are running itself, automatically Babel will run, and automatically it will convert all our code. But only in interview sake, we have to say this code will be converting which library? Babel library. That is enough. Okay, so here we can write something like this, and you can, okay, the only first important thing is whenever you are returning anything, right, inside the component you should return only one component. Okay, suppose I want to write another div here, and I will say second header, something like this, second header. So this is perfectly valid code in the HTML. Correct, right? Because I am writing one div and bottom I am writing another div. So inside the HTML structure, we can write any divs, no problem at all. But in the React, whenever in a written statement, right, whenever you are returning a multiple components in top level, only in the top level. Okay, so like this is the only first component, right? Inside this I can write any number of statements, like 2 lines, 3 lines, 10 lines also possible. But in the top line, in the return statement, you should return only one tag, any tag, no problem. but only one tag. How many tags I am writing here? This is a one div and this is a another div. This is not at all possible. If you are writing like this, you are going to get a error. See, it is saying a parsing error. JSX, see, adjacent JSX elements. So this is what we are talking about, right? JSX means JavaScript XML notation, and you must enclose with something like this. They are telling it. Okay. So whenever you want to try to do like this, so we can do it in a simple way, no problem. What I will do, first I will say one div. Okay, let's create one div. Inside that div, we will move these two divs here. Okay, so this will solve our problem. As part of the JSX, what is their rule? We want to return only one div. That is fine. I'm going to return only one div. Inside that one div, I'm going to place my two divs. This is my first div and this is my second div. This is perfectly fine. But sometimes what I want to do, I don't want to do like this. I want to return two elements only, but JSX should not do any error. Okay, so to solve this problem, we have a one concept called fragments. Okay, so the name of the component is called a fragment. Let me tell. Okay, so there the name is called a fragment. When we'll go for a fragment, whenever you want to return a two outer elements, then we'll go for a fragments. So let us see how to write this fragment. Simple here. You remove this outer div and simply write like a one empty code, something like this. This is a shorthand for the fragments, and you take this as a ending a fragment and you add it here. Okay, so this will solve your problem. Earlier, whenever I am writing one tag, it is okay, but whenever we are writing two tags, it is showing an error, right? To solve this problem only, we are going for a fragment. Suppose you are writing only one element, then fragment is not required. Okay, so why fragment is required? Whenever we want to write a multiple elements in the top level, not in the inner level. So suppose once you write this inner level, here you can write any tags, no problem, everything will work fine. Only in the top level only we should return only one element. But if you are writing multiple elements, you can go for a fragment. That is nothing but a fragment. Okay, so let me remove this element and let's have it. So now we have seen what is a fragment also. Okay, so inside this one, now what we want to do, I want to print some addition value here. Suppose instead of addition value, suppose this is my header. And inside the header, as part of like project, if you're seeing right side, I want to show my username. Suppose whatever the username I am logging in, I want to show my username. Okay, but I want to see it dynamically, not like a something like here. Suppose we are writing a Trinits. Suppose if you are writing Trinits directly, it will directly print that name only. It will not print any direct name, right? So let us print here. It is printing here. So what we want is, I want to create one variable. So we can create a let name is equal to Trinits. How many ways we can create a variable? Three ways. Let constant var. Suppose this name is not at all changing, then what is the keyword I should use? It constant. Okay, constant. That's okay. So suppose I want to print this name here. So how can I print it here? You remove here and print it here. Okay, you are going to do like this and reload the page. So what is the output it is printing? Hello name only. It is not printing my real name. It is printing the variable name only. It is not printing the value. To solve this problem in the JSX, we need to write like a expression. Okay, simply write like a something like this. So whenever you are writing this flower brackets and you are keeping this name, okay, it is going to replace your real name here in the line. Let us see what is going to do. So what is the value it is printing? Trinits. Okay, that means whenever you want to print any dynamic value in the JSX, you can use a brackets. Inside the bracket, you can display any variable name, no problem. Suppose you have a age property, you can display it. Suppose I want to have a one person object. Do you know how to create one person object? Let person p is equal to how to do? I can print like a name and age. Name is a Trinits, age is equal to 20. Suppose now I want to print this person object. So how to print it? This one, something like this p. So whenever we are writing p, so what is the output? We are going to get like a name is equal to Trinits, age is equal to 20. Okay, but if you are going to do this one in the React, you are going to get a white screen. Whenever you get a white screen, 100% there is an error in your code. Okay, you can control here and inspect. You can see the error. What is the error? So go to console. See, I am printing only my name, but it is showing lot of errors. Okay, this is because in the React JSX code, you should not give any object directly. You should give only variables. You should not give any direct object. Okay, whenever you are giving an object, see, objects are not valid as per the React child. Okay, so you can read this error, and this is the problem with your object. So now what we have to do? But so now you understood, right? Now if you want to convert a object into string form, what is the method we should use it? To string or JSON data stringify. We know two methods, right? Whenever you want to print any object, you can write like something like this. So there are two methods are available. You can say there are two string, and let us see what is output. So at that time, what is it? You can clear this one and reload. So now this time perfectly fine. But whenever I'm printing two string, what is the value it is printing? Object of it is not printing my real data. That is the reason whenever you want to print your real data, you have to write a JSON data stringify. You know that, right? So you can go here. So inside the JSX code, like whatever the code I am writing, this brackets, right? You can write any real-time expressions. So, and you can call any methods also. I will say JSON dot, what is the method name? Stringify. And what is the object I want to print it? P. So that is, I will give like this, and let us go here. Now this time name is equal to Trinits, age is equal to 20. Sometimes first, whenever you are doing first time, you are going to get this white screen error, and don't worry, because you are going to print some object. That is the reason you will get it. So to solve this problem, either you can write a toString or JSON data stringify. That is the solution. Okay, so that is one. Next, and sometimes we don't want to print like this. I don't want to print entire object. I want to print my username only. I don't want to print my salary, nothing in the header. I want to print only my username. How to access any username? Suppose my object name is P. I want to print the name. How to print it? We can print in two ways, either array approach or in a object approach. So P data name. So something like this, you can print it. So Trinits, it is printing. Suppose I want to print my age also separately. I can say, I can take another again, this open bracket and close bracket. I can take any number of times, no problem at all. Now I want to print my age, P dot age. Okay, something like this. And you can write like a, before if you want to print age something, you can write like age. So age is equal to 20, name is equal to Trinit, something like this. Okay. So now what you understood, inside this square brackets, you can print any variable name directly, no problem. You can print any object, but only with the toString or stringify, not directly. Or if I want to access any properties, we can access like a object data, property name, object data, anything we can access, no problem. Okay. Suppose this is fine. Suppose I want to do addition. Suppose 10 plus 20, I want to do it. What is the 10 plus 20? So let us 30. Let us write like a, let A is equal to 10. Let B is equal to something. Let B is equal to 30. I want to print this. What is the value for A and B value here? Suppose I want to print A and B value here. So here what I can do, simply I can write like A plus B. A plus B. That means what is the total? What is the total? Instead of writing C is equal to A plus B, I can print like A plus B. So A is a number, B also number. Number plus number, number only. So we are going to get a output like a 50. Okay, so inside this expression, now the point is inside this expression, you can do small calculations also. Suppose plus, minus, into, all these calculations, you can write it here. Okay, so that is the point. Okay, so now next point is, suppose here I am writing one function. So do you know how to write a normal function? We can write a, suppose I want to get a add value. So I will say get add value something, and we can write like open bracket and something like this. It will return a plus B. Suppose whenever I want to get this value, I'm going to print the value. So instead of, I don't want to write it the logic here, I want to write in a separate function and I want to print it. So in JSX, you can call a function also. So what is the function name I want to call it? This one. Okay. So simply call this one and going to print it here. Okay, whenever you are going to print it, automatically you are going to get a same out. Okay. So here the point is, so inside this expression, you can write a normal calculation a plus b or 50 plus 30, something like this. Or you can call the any function. That is fine. Or you want to print any object, you can print it. So all these are possible inside the JSX. Okay. Okay, so now we have done this like a 5 plus plus, you can do it, no problem. You can print your age, no problem. Suppose if this is an object, you can say p dot age also, not possible. And you can call any function also. This is also possible. Okay, suppose I want to write one simple class here. I want to write one class. So I want to write a, suppose you go to this index.css or app.css, write one simple class like a header. Suppose I want to write a one header. So dot header and open bracket and close bracket. And background color is equal to, I want to write a red color. Let us have a red color. I want to apply this style in the CSS, in this header. So how to apply any class? Class is equal to, okay. And what is the name I should write it? Header. So this is one, right? So here the, whenever you are importing here, the thing is this where we have written our CSS app.css. This app.css we are importing in the, where we in the app component we have imported. If you are importing any CSS directly like this, the styles will be applicable in all the project, like entire the project. You no need to import in all the files. If you are importing in one place, automatically it is available in all the files. Okay, let's go and check our header. So let us reload the page. Okay, so let me save all the files. File, save all. I'll go here and let us see. So we are using that header name correctly and reload the page. So is there any style it is applying? Is there any style it is applying? Check, is there any style? Okay, so the style is applying. But if you see here, what is the error we are having it? Invalid DOM property. Okay, so please read this error. Invalid DOM property class. Did you mean class name? Okay, what is this error here is in the React, there are two ways are possible, right? What are the possible ways? Function based, class based. If you are writing this class keyword, class is a keyword, but inside the JavaScript HTML it is a attribute. So React will get confusion. Here the class I should apply CSS or I should consider as a JavaScript class. So because of that reason, in the React, whenever you are using a class, this is not allowed. If you are writing like this, you are going to get a error like this. Okay, to solve this problem, they have given another attribute called class name. In entire React project, wherever we are applying our CSS class names, we should use a class name, not the class. The reason is, whenever you are writing a class, it will think class is a keyword. So they are trying to create one component. So that is the reason they are avoiding this class is a for CSS. Whenever you want to apply any class name, what is the name we should use it for now? Class name, and N is a capital. Okay, don't write N in the small, it will not work out. So let us reload the page again. See, this time no error at all, and this class is applied. Okay, if you are going to write in one file, that CSS will apply in all the files. In all the files, you no need to write in all the places. In one file, it is going to. There is one problem also regarding that. We will see what is the problem. Okay, so here the point is, whenever you want to apply class, what is the keyword I should use it? A class name, not the class. Why? Because inside the JSX syntax, we should not write the class keyword. If you want to use it, we should use a class name. But it is worked fine. But it is showing error in the console. That is not at all a recommended approach. That is not a good practice. That is the reason we have to go for a class name. That is a important point. Okay. Suppose here, and suppose here I want to show one link here. Okay, suppose whenever we want to show one link, we can add any link attribute. I'm adding one link attribute. So this is perfectly fine. There is an anchor tag we are adding, and href is equal to some link we are giving. So let us open this link here. There is a link. Whenever we are opening that link will be automatically open. This is a HTML code. Suppose I want to replace this HTML code with the JSX syntax. I can create a, so what is the URL I'm having it? This react.js data org. I can store it in one variable. I will say constant URL is equal to I can store that URL. Okay. Now I want to give this URL here. Where I have to give it here. If you are directly writing like this, what will happen is it will think like a your actual value itself URL only. It will not think I need to replace the top URL. So let us see what is the problem, and we'll fix this one. If you are going to reload our page, if I am clicking here, it is thinking like a my URL itself URL only. But we don't want that one, right? Where is our real data is available? In the URL variable. I need to say this is not a simple text. This is a variable. That is the reason we are going to use a JSX syntax. How to write a JSX syntax? Something like this. But whenever you are writing a JSX syntax in a double quotes, this will not work out. Let us see. So what is the value it is printing? It is trying to go with the curly braces, but the URL is not working. So that is the reason whenever you want to replace any value, don't write inside the double quote or a single quote. You are that this flower bracket should be there directly, like is equal to href is equal to open bracket and close bracket. You can write a URL. If you are writing a single quote or double quote, your program is there, but it will not work at all. That is a problem. So whenever you want to replace it, you have to write like a curly braces, and inside the curly braces, you can replace with your variable name. So that is the one. Okay, you can write a curly braces and you can display something like this. Don't write inside the double quote or a single quote. Okay, so like this we can write about this. All things are using the JSX. So what are the we can summarize it here. Suppose I have a one variable name. I want to print it in a HTML. So what is the code? I can write it as JSX code. Open bracket and close bracket. That variable name I can simply write it here. Automatically that value will be printing. Suppose I want to do some conversion like 5 plus 5, something like this. Yes, possible. It will think like it will execute that code and it will print the output. That is possible. I want to call a function. Yes, you can call a function. So what is my function name here? Get add value. You can call this function also here. That is also possible. You want to replace any property value. Yes, that is also possible. You define the property top and you can use it in the bottom. That is also possible.